So let's talk about you, Sarah. I saw that you used to do figure skating.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I was a figure skater from age 3. And I did that for 11 years, till 14. It was my whole life. So semi-professional figure skater. My intention was always, my goal, my target was the Olympics. And as a young girl, I saw Tara Lipinski. She was the first young girl to go to the Olympics. And there was a big contention about whether or not she qualified because she did points technically, but she wasn't yet 16 when she skated. And at that time, I haven't followed it recently, but at that time, 16 was the age to compete. And so they were then, well, is it 16 at the time of being at the Olympics? Is it 16 at the time of qualifying? And she ended up going. And if I'm not mistaken, she won gold because I remember her skating to I'm Walking on Sunshine. And so much has changed in the skating world since then. But that was my entire existence for my young life. And it definitely helped me to develop discipline, and a lot of the qualities that I embody today and that are just who I am are from that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see where like learning to just like dedicate yourself to something could make, like, that's a great skill to have.
Absolutely. Particularly, the aspect behind, I don't want to do this right now. I don't feel like it. It's hard. Do I have to? Again, right? All of these things that we have come up that give us resistance. But to be tied back to that bigger, well, I want to be in the ice show. I want to go and compete and get a new costume and like stand on that podium and get a trophy or a medal. And it was also fun, where I then started to lose my passion for the sport was when it became all about winning and the technical side, and the fun was sucked out of it. And that was through having a couple of coaches in a row that were not what I needed at that time, at that stage of my development, both as a young person and as an athlete.
Do you skate at all anymore?
I have my skates. I still have them. The last time I went was with my mom. She loves to go skating, but I don't do it regularly. And there's a few reasons for that. Some is my schedule is quite inconsistent with the amount of travel that I do, so it's hard to get regular practice in. And the reason that I stopped skating was due to severe knee injuries. Falling on ice is not exactly great for the human body, especially when it's repeated. I was 13 and a half. I couldn't walk one morning, like getting out of bed. I couldn't bend my knees. They were really stiff and swollen. So we went to the doctor. I got an MRI, and he came back and he said, if you have another major fall, you're going to need double knee surgery. I'm 13 and a half, right? And at this point too, I'm also in this painful realization of, I don't know if I like this anymore. But who am I? What do I do with myself if I'm not a figure skater? And is it okay to stop figure skating? Because I've done it my whole life. This is all I know. My mother has given up so much time to pay for this, to drive me to the ice rink, to make sure I had what I needed to do it, right? Like you get all of those things. And even as a 13-year-old, I was grappling with these questions. And so we had a very real conversation because at that time as well, as a family, we were moving from Chicago, Illinois to Sedona, Arizona. And Sedona does not have an ice rink. The nearest ice rink that was available was Flagstaff, a 45-minute drive. The nearest competitive ice rink, if I wanted to maintain the trajectory I had been on, was in Phoenix. And so my mother and stepfather were very supportive, and they said, look, if this is what you want, we will support you. We'll put you in a high school in Phoenix. We'll get you an apartment. We'll see. You can come home on the weekends. We'll make sure that there's someone there to be with you. And we want to also discuss the limitations of this arrangement. So like, what does that mean for my day-to-day life and experience? What does that mean for my long-term future? And at 13, it's really, really hard to grasp what anything in your 20s, let alone 30s or 40s, is going to be like. And, it was this conversation of, if you do have double knee surgery, the amount of, or anything along these lines of your body, right? Your structural damage that you're taking, you could be in a walker or live in constant pain every single day. The pain you felt when you couldn't walk the other morning, imagine you have that every single day, and eventually the pain medicine you take no longer works. Do you want that? And so that's a pretty big conversation to have at such a young age. And I recognize that was not the path to take any longer. And so, but it was hard. It was extremely hard to quit and to give that up, right? We have such negative connotation with that word. And yet it is absolutely necessary for sustainability, for longevity. And there is no rule or law or absolute truth that says you have to be the same or do the same thing forever. And so that was my first pivot. That was my first realization that it's okay to change your mind.